Oh, we back. Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you are all doing well, dear sweet friends. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news of sorts. I shan't be citing articles today, but I want to talk about key facts, things that are going on within the Chelsea world. Tammy Abraham saying his goodbyes, a sad scene with his bags packed at Stamford Bridge, off to Roma, the money generated, what could happen next? Do we not need a centre-back? We probably need a central midfielder. You know, lots to get into, so get comfortable, subscribe, drop a like if you want to show your sweet support to your friend Jan. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, that's right, you there, drinking your coffee, tea, beer. Yeah, thank you. Chelsea have started this season with a bang. There's so much going on in the world of football, and you can keep up with it by checking out my sponsor, OneFootball. That's right, OneFootball is the only place you'll ever need to go for getting information about football, the beautiful game, lineups, results, match statistics, transfer news, general football news, everything, all there on your phone, and it's completely free. Click the link in the description to go check out OneFootball now and set yourself for the season. Alright then, let's get into it. Right, let's start off with young Tammy Abraham. We all knew it was coming, ladies and gentlemen. We all knew he has agreed to transfer away from Chelsea. And rather interestingly, it's Roma that's the destination, not his preferred destination of Arsenal across the town of London. But to be honest, Brentford probably did us a favour when he made the decision, slapping up Arsenal and making them look completely hopeless. There's this picture of Tammy Abraham with his bags packed at Stamford Bridge after the Chelsea game when Chelsea won 3-0 against Crystal Palace. He seemingly just wanted to stop by, watch his friends play a game of football before he jumps on the plane to Rome to go talk to Jose Mourinho. It cut kind of a sad figure, him walking away with his bags like that. It's literally been sent packing. Now, I'm not criticising anyone, I totally understand. It makes sense. Thomas Tuchel is an absolute genius when it comes to football. I don't think he's been deliberately cruel to Tammy Abraham. I just think he literally believes he cannot use him for his football. And if that's what he believes, we all absolutely have to back the coach. Of course, there is a sad element about it because we all love Tammy Abraham, and he was good under Frank Lampard. Liam Twomey, I believe, tweeted out something about him scoring 15 non-penalty goals and that actually having value, so it was smart that Chelsea put a buyback clause into his contract, as in into the sale contract rather. And he was 21 years old, 15 non-penalty Premier League goals. If he was on penalties, say, I don't know, he scored 5 penalties, 20 Premier League goals in a season, we'd all be looking at that very, very differently. He's always scored goals, Tammy Abraham. He loves it. I've spoken about it here many times before. He broke the record in the Championship for a teenager, scoring like 25 goals for Bristol City, keeping them in the division. He broke a record for Aston Villa, or at least was the first player to score over 25 league goals for like tens and tens of years. Tammy Abraham scores goals. Let's have a look at Fabrizio Romano's tweet to give us more context of what's happening. Paperwork signed during the night for Tammy Abraham to AS Roma. No loan, permanent deal. Chelsea have a buyback clause valid from June 2023 for 80 million euros. Confirmed. Chelsea are also working to complete the Batshuayi deal with Besiktas and Ike Ugbo with Genk. Final stages. Chelsea making loads of moves, generating money in the transfer market. So Tammy Abraham sold for 40 million euros. Considering he's only got 24 months left on his deal and he's just not playing, nor is he favoured by the current coach, and he's a young player, 40 million euros is actually pretty darn good work from Marina Granovskaya. And then his buyback clause is worth about 68 million pounds. Now the buyback clause is not valid for the next 2 years, but I don't think Tammy Abraham's going to suddenly explode into a 70 million pound player. He might develop well in that time though, and you know, who knows, maybe if they have him as a long-term Edin Dzeko replacement, maybe in 5 years, if he's an elite goal scorer in Italy, we can buy him back as a Romelu Lukaku replacement, huh? Think about that, long-term planning, 4D chess. Interesting to hear Batshuayi and Ike Ugbo updates as well. Of course, I'll keep an eye on that and keep you guys updated, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel, Football Therapy, with the bell notifications icon turned on. For a little bit more context of how financially good this is, let's have a look at the tweet from Belgian journalist Christophe Thureau. Chelsea have sold around 85 million euros now. Tammy Abraham is almost gone. goes theoretically straight into their financial fair play accounts. Romelu Lukaku's transfer fee can be spread over 5 years in the FFP account, so his annual cost, including wages, is max around €46 million. Basically, Chelsea have been really smart and they've generated a lot of funds. People might criticise Chelsea for, spending 96 million on Romelu Lukaku, not the transfer record of course, but it's a lot of money. The champions of Europe have actually been very smart with their transfer business this summer. They've generated nearly all of that just in sales alone without touching Champions League winnings and without touching just the mass amount of money that Chelsea actually have. Pretty neat, huh? Right, let's move on. I want to talk a little bit about centre-backs and midfielders in this transfer market. Cool, so we speculated that actually there's a chance that Chelsea will do more business. After a striker, there were reports a while ago saying Chelsea could sign up to 2 more senior players to come into the squad. Now, the fact that Chelsea are making loads of moves to get players out the door and generate even more funds makes you think, yeah, the 2 places that we're talking about, of course, are mainly a new player at centre-back, and Jules Koundé was looking really likely, and of course, a central midfielder. So let's talk about Jules Koundé first. Reports from The Athletic, from the likes of Simon Johnson, was saying that Chelsea will sign Koundé regardless, and he's already agreed terms with Chelsea. But that was before Trevor Chalobah erupted onto the scene. Now, yes, Chelsea have got defenders out of contract. They've got to make long-term plans for no Thiago Silva, no Azpilicueta. Fine, so Zuma's likely to go maybe. So you could say 2 centre-backs in is good in both Chalobah and Jules Koundé. But for the moment, while we look defensively resolute, and we do look defensively resolute, Trevor Chalobah, not only does he look elite and ready at this level, it's a feel-good story. Yet another academy product in the starting 11. We all thought that was done with Frank Lampard, but no. Just as people get sad about Guehi and Tomori, Thomas Tuchel finds a player that he wants. And you know what? Considering his performances in pre-season, in the Super Cup, in his debut at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, you can't get rid of him now. Just the pragmatic, objective perspective of you've trained this guy pre-season, you want to start winning games immediately. It would literally be against your interests to get this guy away from the squad. Thomas Tuchel's going to be like, no, we're winning with him. He's had a few training sessions with me. We've got to start winning now. I want him to stay. And you know what? Chelsea probably aren't paying Trevor Chalobah astronomical wages. You can bet your bottom dollar they'll be giving him a new contract soon, especially if he's playing in the first team. Buy Jules Koundé next summer. No one's going to buy him this summer, I don't think. Especially if he wants to wait for Chelsea. He already rejected Tottenham. Buy him next summer for 20 million less. Or 15 million less. Do you know what I mean? Use Trevor Chalobah. He looks good. He looks ready. Surely, right? Also, they talk about wanting some cover down that right-hand side. Jules Koundé can play right back. So can Trevor Chalobah. He played right back in pre-season. Really rather well. So, yeah, he can play in midfield as well, of course. Last season in Ligue 1, playing for Lorient, he played central defensive midfield. He's got really good spatial awareness because he's played different positions. Similarly, this is the kind of reasons why coaches love people like Mason Mount, because he knows how to occupy the wing. He knows how to occupy the false 9. He knows how to occupy the 10. He knows how to occupy the 8. And double 6, he's done that as well. So when you can play different positions, you become a better player. I see a lot of that in Trevor Chalobah, and you know what, there's a recurring theme here, people. The Chelsea Academy. They all seem to know how to play different positions. So, let me know what you think on that, but seemingly at the moment, it doesn't seem like Chelsea need to buy a centre-back. Not when this guy's winning man of the matches and is looking like an absolute beast, scoring 30-yard rocket shots. Anyway, let's move on and talk about a position that could be a problem. And of course, that is central midfield, especially when you consider Kante got injured in the Super Cup and we didn't have a recognised midfielder on the bench for Crystal Palace, and we had a very tired pair of Jorginho and Kovacic starting. We all know the narrative. Gilmore's gone to Norwich, even though he could have been utilised a bit, but it's a good loan for him over there. And you're thinking, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek going to be considered? Is, Ampadu going to be considered? Probably more likely to be a centre-back under Tuchel. And then people are making, you know, speculations that, well, we know Reece James can play in the midfield. Tuchel said it as well. Christensen has played in the midfield before, not for Tuchel, but he has in Germany, etc., etc. And if you keep Trevor Chalobah, you can, of course, play him in the midfield. But is he like a metronomic passing double six? I'm not so sure. So for me, Chelsea's most likely purchase next in the transfer market, and I'm just pulling this out of the air here, is a central midfielder. Chelsea like Declan Rice. Thomas Tuchel likes Declan Rice. Chelsea won't be able to buy Declan Rice this summer. Of course, Tchouaméni from Monaco. Everyone's talking about that young midfielder. Chelsea have apparently made inquiries about him or have looked at him. That could be a good option. You'd very much need this kind of double six passing midfielder, especially one that can break the lines a little bit if they play the more Mateo Kovacic role over the more Jorginho role. It depends what Thomas Tuchel thinks he needs more desperately. If Ruben Loftus-Cheek is to stay with Chelsea this season, then he can play the Kovacic role, the sort of carrying the ball out of midfield, you know, like Kovacic does. But I don't think he can do the more Jorginho role of sitting back and dictating play. Like, maybe that's a play that we do need to find cover for. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment down below your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And you know what? If you want some free footballing fun, oh yes, I said it, click the link in the description. Go check out OneFootball now for completely free. I use it every day on the reg, so you can too. Alright friends, enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.